Chapter 10. The team burst into Walmart like a hurricane. Shelves rattled, carts toppled, and alarms screamed silently above them. Slow Joe barked orders with calm precision. Grab ice! 3 fridges, gas cans, tires, hammers, metal fences. His voice cut through the chaos. Barley's sensors whirred, mechanical eyes scanning every aisle. Affirmative. Locating ice, fridges, and miscellaneous defensive supplies. Brock fumbled with a hammer, wide-eyed. Joe, why 3 fridges? Poco clutched his guitar, knuckles white. Madre mia, this is madness. Arnold bounded over a stack of tires, bouncing like a spring. Vroom, vroom! I got it! More! More! Ordinary shoppers scattered, staring, while a few shady figures ducked behind displays. Brock and Poco helped Joe haul the first fridge, sweat dripping down their faces. Sirens wailed in the distance. Brock's eyes went wide. You have to be kidding me. Barley's arm shot up, hurling Molotovs with precision. Flames erupted, bouncing along aisles. Joe fired his shotgun at the nearest police tires, sparks scattering across the concrete. The team jumped into the red Jeep, fridges and supplies crammed in every corner. Outside, the streets had become a symphony of chaos, siren wails, shouting officers, and a police helicopter cutting through the noon sky. Brock's hands trembled on the rocket launcher. We're going to prison. 100%. Arnold whooped from the back seat, bouncing atop a pile of tires. Vroom, vroom! Let's go! Back at Slow Joe's house, the real madness began. Furniture, appliances, and stolen Walmart supplies were strewn across the lawn. Arnold was already breaking plates like toys. Arnold, stop! Joe roared. Poco raised his hands, trying to calm everyone. Relájense, amigos. We have time. Stay positive. Joe hammered metal fences onto windows and doors with desperation, sweat streaking his face. Brock barricaded the front, piling tables, chairs, and blankets against the door. Arnold danced around, tossing toilet paper everywhere, laughing like a child. Barley stood like a sentinel, calculating angles, coverage, and probability of survival. Then police troops had surrounded them, guns aimed, shouting commands. Hope waned. But Barley hurled another Molotov, flames lapping at tires and asphalt, giving the team precious seconds. Joe and Brock launched a fridge filled with ice and volatile chemicals into the advancing officers, the street instantly frosting over in a deadly sheet of frozen chaos. Arnold followed orders, tossing gas cans into the path. Joe's shotgun flared, igniting a massive explosion, sending fire and oil sprawling across the frozen street. The air was thick with smoke, ice, and heat, a battlefield of elements and pure madness. The streets roared with fire, glass, and gunfire. Slow Joe's house, if it could even be called a house anymore, had become a fortress of chaos. Molotov flames licked the street. Freezers of ice leaked frozen mist across the lawn. Gas cans hissed like ticking bombs. Joe's team moved in desperate rhythm, each man clinging to survival. Officers slipped on ice, choked in smoke, fell back behind their cruisers. For a moment, it looked like the impossible was working, until the world shifted. From the smoke stepped slow Morbius, flanked by all his men, hardened criminals he had recruited, arriving in a convoy of roaring cars and black vans. Morbius raised his shotgun, not at Joe, but at the police, eyes blazing with calculated fury. Gunfire thundered as officers fell back, blindsided. Then Morbius pivoted, eyes blazing, and aimed at Joe's home. Hopeless, he growled. I'll burn you all. He barked orders to his men, and instantly gunfire erupted, bullets ripping through walls and shattering windows. Shattered glass rained over the team. Barley ducked behind a fridge, his monotone cutting through the chaos. Situation escalating, threat level, lethal. Recommend evasive maneuvers. Brock scrambled, pale, sweating. Oh no, they're shooting everything! Joe, what do we do? Poco trembled in the corner, hugging his guitar like a shield. Arnold spun in panicked circles, Vaisla knocking over fences and chairs. Joe, calm even in the storm, racked his shotgun. Get to cover. We fight back. Gunfire snapped. Brock cried out as a bullet tore into him, collapsing. Poco's hands shook, strings vibrating as he strummed a desperate chord. Light burst from his guitar, healing energy washing over Brock's wound. Brock blinked, stunned. For the first time, he looked at Poco not as a coward, but as a savior. Barley hurled Molotovs, thinning the attackers, igniting vans and barricades. Arnold, erratic but fearless, drew the arsonist's fire, while Poco's healing light strengthened the team from behind, and Joe struck down the assassins one by one. Brock, teeth clenched, raised his rocket launcher, blasting a line of robbers. His face twisted, half victory, half disgust at the killing. Finally, with their last two fridges, Joe and Brock unleashed a frozen wall, frost crawling up cars and pavement. Criminals slipped and scattered. The tide was turning, until shadows shifted above. 22 thieves dropped from the roof. Glass shattered as they swarmed through upstairs windows. Joe spun, shotgun raised. "Stop right there!" One thief froze. The others didn't. Joe's blast echoed, cutting one down instantly. Arnold dashed in, creating chaos, grabbing at thieves, tripping them, throwing plates like frisbees. However, one thief grabbed him by the collar and lifted him up. Arnold, caught off guard and annoyed, muttered, "Hey, put me down." The thief hesitated, then tossed him aside in fear and bolted. Some thieves fled with stolen ammo and food. Others fell to the team's desperate counterattack. Then came the moment. The walls quaked. The door splintered. Fire rolled across the floor as Slow Morbius stepped through the smoke. His stuntman suit hung in tatters, armor dented and scorched, shotgun locked in his grip, bombs strapped across his chest like a final oath. He looked less like a man now, more like something dragged out of rage and obsession. His eyes never left Joe. He fired point blank. The blast tore through Joe's chest. The sound was wet. Final. Blood sprayed the wall behind him as the force threw his body backward. Joe hit the floor hard. Still. No breath. No movement. His eyes stared past the ceiling, unfocused. The room froze around him. Brock screamed. Poco's guitar slipped from his hands, clattering against the floor. Arnold's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Smoke drifted. Fire crackled. Joe didn't move. For a second, that felt too long. Then, light. A sudden flash ripped through the room. An angelic shield flared around Joe, glowing with power. He stood again, shotgun in hand, whole and unbroken. The room went silent. Even Morbius froze. No way. Joe's eyes burned with fury. One pull of the trigger and Morbius was blown backward, collapsing in a heap. Finally, Slow Morbius was finished. Brock dropped to his knees, shaking. "Joe, you're alive, and he's gone." Poco clutched his guitar, whispering through disbelief. "Madre mia, eso fue increíble." Arnold's eyes bulged, pointing at Joe like he'd seen a ghost. He just did a magic trick! Joe's a wizard!" He spun in circles, arms flailing, then froze mid-run, gasping. "Wait, if Joe died and now Joe's back, does that mean I'm dead too?" He slapped himself hard across the face, stumbled and shouted, "Nope! Still here! Ow, ow!" He bolted straight into Barley's arms like a terrified child. "Metal guy, hold me! He's glowing like an angel Pikachu." Barley's voice cut through the chaos, flat and cold as ever, analyzing Slow Joe, status resurrected. Cause of respawn, unknown. Probability of divine origin, 0%. Probability of cheat codes, 87%. Relief surged through the team. They had won. Then, the sirens rose again. Red and blue lights flooded the ruins. FBI surrounded the house, rifles raised, spotlights blinding. "Hands up, now!" Exhausted, out of ammo, out of options. One by one they knelt. Barley, out of Molotovs, stood still, silent, watching the officers close in. Arnold tried to bolt, slammed straight into a cop, both tumbling to the ground. The rest were dragged down, cuffed, shoved into cruisers. Slow Joe lifted his head behind the metal bars of the window, staring out at the burning wreckage of his home, his mother's memory echoing inside him. For now, it was over.